Hi! Welcome to Papa Nick's Upholstery. Come on in. Let's have some fun. Chairs like this one are a part of our everyday lives, but how are they made? Today I'm going to teach you how we upholster chairs here at Papa Nick's Upholstery, my dad's family business. Before we begin upholstering, we're going to need to prep the materials needed, such as the foam, the wood, and the fabric. The first thing we need to do is to trace the prototype foam onto this larger piece of foam. Once we have done that, next we will use the foam saw to cut out our outline and have another piece of usable foam. Now we have a finished foam product that looks like our original. Next, we need to use the bandsaw to cut this generic piece of wood into the specified dimensions given by the customer. This is the final product. The holes are drilled and T-nuts are added so the seat can be installed to the chair. Next, we need to cut our fabric. We need to choose dimensions to fully cover the foam and wood. We have chosen 27 by 24. We use chalk because it is easily removed. Now we take our shears and simply cut the piece. Now we have our finished product. For the next step, we will be using this glue to adhere the foam to the wood to make upholstery later on easier. This glue gun will be used for consistent spray. In order to glue the wood to the foam, we place the wood T-nut side down into the center of the foam. There should be about an inch of foam surrounding it in order to wrap around when the fabric is applied. We will attach the glue that we prepped earlier to compressed air. Lift up the piece of wood and start spraying. Make sure that the glue gets both on the wood and the foam for complete adhesion. Now that the glue is sprayed completely over the wood and the foam, we need to press them down. Make sure that the wood stays center into the middle of the foam. Press all around on the edges to assure complete adhesion. Now we are ready for upholstering. We will be using this mold made of wood and expanding foam to give us the design desired, and this hydraulic jack to make upholstering fast and efficient. To begin, put the fabric onto the mold with the long side parallel to the press. Now, put our wood and foam directly in the center of the mold, making sure that when the press pushes down, it will slide smoothly into the mold. Just like this. Next, we will use this piece of wood to help us designate where the staples will go in. This piece of wood is exactly 3/4 of an inch smaller on each side, so the staples will enter right along this edge. We will use this block of wood and the hydraulic press to help push the wood and foam and fabric into the mold. This lever will help us crank the press down. We will crank the press until the foam just begins to curl over the wood. Now that the foam is curled equally around the wood on all sides, we can begin stapling. I will be using 3/8 of an inch staple and compressed air to push the staple into the wood. To begin stapling, I will start with the corners because those are the hardest parts. Pull towards the wood and put 2 staples in. Next, we will be making folds to move about the corner. Make sure that the fold is above the wood and will not show in the final product. It usually takes 4 or 5 of these folds to get around a 90-degree corner. A good technique for the straightaways is to put your staples in far apart and then slowly close the gap by having the gap distance each time. Next, we will do the other corner. Start again with 2 staples and begin your folds. Make sure that your finger does not get underneath the staple, because that could actually hurt. And we're finished. Release the press. Now we will begin to check our final project. Make sure there are no staples that are sticking straight up. If there are, we need to pull them out. Make sure there are no staples that are slightly raised, because then we will need to hammer them down. I've done a pretty good job here, and there are none that need to be fixed. Now we need to cut the excess fabric off. To do this, we're going to move to the cutting table to remove all this extra fabric. We will be using a razor blade to do this. Cut about 1 centimeter away from the staples. Using a sharp razor blade really helps here. It can make the work go fast. The corners are the toughest part. You need to be careful that you don't end up cutting yourself here. Now for the final step, installing the seat to the chair. To do this, we'll invert the chair onto the seat. Making sure that the holes line up with the holes on the seat. Just like that. Now we'll take the 3 bolts and our screwdriver and screw the chair to the seat. Now this is our finished product. Wow, this is comfortable. Hopefully now with these steps, you can upholster a chair too.